The UFC is finally back after a very long break, but it was worth the wait because UFC 324 is stacked from top to bottom, and I'm going to be giving my predictions on every single fight, starting with Adam Fugitt versus Ty Miller. Ty Miller is making his debut after winning a decision on the first episode of the Contender Series this year. Dana was super pissed because that episode kind of sucked, but Miller did enough to get the contract. He was rocking his opponent and dropping him through all 3 rounds. He kept hurting him. He kind of reminds me of Sean O'Malley because he's tall and lengthy and skinny, and he doesn't look like he should generate much power, but he really does. Every punch he was landing had such a loud thud on it, and it would just smoke his opponent down. It was pretty brutal. Adam Fugitt is 2-3 in the UFC, but his losses are to Michael Morales, who's ranked, Mike Malott, who's ranked, and then Islam Dulatov, who's a very hyped prospect coming off the Contender Series. And then his only wins are Josh Quinlan and some other guy that I don't even know, which aren't good wins at all, but his losses aren't bad at all. So he's a pretty 50-50 fighter. But I think Ty Miller is probably good enough to beat him. I don't know much about their grappling, but on the feet, I think Miller's going to outstrike him at range. Even though he doesn't have too much reach on him, he's still very tall, very long. I think he's just going to outstrike him and probably get a win by decision. He could get the finish, but Ty Miller's a bit of a decision merchant, although Fugitt has been finished in all of his losses in the UFC, so there could be a knockout, but I got Ty Miller by decision. Next up, we got Ricky Turcios versus Cameron Smotherman, and I really don't know who I'm going to pick for this fight. They're both, it feels like a really 50-50 fight. They're both kind of the same, but I think it just comes down to the heart in their last fight and the way their last fight looked. Ricky Turcios got pretty beat up and he got dropped in the 3rd round, and most refs probably would have stopped it. He was getting just pummeled on the ground. It was pretty bad, but he kept going. He stood up. He managed to make it to the end of the 3rd round. He survived. He kept swinging. He was really trying to win. He was trying to stay in it, and he looked like a dog in that fight. He looked pretty good. But Cameron Smotherman, his last fight against Ricky Simón, which, Ricky Simón I think is better than Sopai, the guy that Turcios lost to, but Smotherman just laid there and kind of let Ricky Simón do whatever he wants to him, and it kind of just didn't look good at all. I get that Ricky Simón is probably the best fighter out of anyone here, but still, he didn't look like he was trying to get up. He kind of was just laying there, getting beat up, while Turcios would have just been trying shit. So I think in this fight, if it gets to the 3rd round, Turcios is going to be the one trying more stuff, while Smotherman just lays there and gets beat up. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I got Turcios by decision, but I'm not confident in that at all. All right, next we go to the heavyweight division, where we got Josh Hokit taking on Denzel Freeman. Josh Hokit is just a great addition to the heavyweight division. I can't wait for him to start getting some big names. I think he's going to win this by 1st round knockout. He's coming off a 1st round TKO. I think he's going to do it again very easily. Denzel Freeman is not good. He stood around doing nothing in his last fight. There was a minute left in the 2nd round, and one of the announcers was saying that Freeman just landed his first combination of the fight. So that's just how he's not he's not going to do anything in this fight. It took him 9 minutes to land one combination. I don't think he's going to survive 9 minutes in this fight. I don't think he's going to survive 4 minutes in this fight. I think Hokit's going to take him down pretty easily, take him out. Either knock him out on the feet or with ground and pound, whatever it is. I got Josh Hokit by easy 1st round KO. All right, next up we got Michael Johnson taking on Alexander Hernandez. This is the last early prelim of the night. This is going to be a banger, dude. Johnson is the definition of Unk still got it. Hernandez is on an insane win streak, I think 4 or 5 fights now. He's sliming out Chase Hooper, Diego Ferreira. Like, those are great wins. I thought he was going to get someone ranked next, but the lightweight division is just too deep. And I don't know. I think he's taken a step down in competition, but maybe not. Well, actually, no. Literally, he is. Ferreira knocked out Michael Johnson. So if MMA math would work for once, Alexander Hernandez is going to get this win. I am worried he's going to get shinned. Michael Johnson could get the win here, but I think I'm going to take Hernandez. He's on a really good win streak. He's younger. I think he's better. Yeah, that's basically my take on the fight. I might be a little bit biased because me and Hernandez do happen to be best friends, but that has nothing to do with it. I think he's a lot better. I think he's going to get the win. I am scared he could get shinned. There's always the chance with Michael Johnson that you can just eat an overhand and go to sleep. But I think I'm going to be taking Hernandez to win this fight by either decision or a late knockout, a late TKO. Kicking off the regular prelims, we got Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. And this is probably my most 50-50 fight of the entire card. The whole build-up, I've had Johnson, easily. I thought he was going to easily win the fight. But then when you watch back their last fights, Perez was doing really good against Almabayev, and he just got caught in a submission 22 seconds into the last round. But he was winning that fight. He was doing really good. And Charles Johnson was getting pieced up by Kavanaugh. It was pretty bad. He was getting whooped and dominated. And then he just landed a lucky punch. And I don't know. I feel like Perez is going to be able to walk him down and use his leg kicks, which just saying it sounds so stupid, which is why I'm still picking Charles Johnson by decision. My gut just tells me that he's going to win the fight, even though watching tape, I feel like Perez should win this one stylistically. I just don't think, I don't know, I don't think that matters. It's one of those picks that your gut tells you and your brain tells you that you can't pick Perez. So I'm taking Charles Johnson by decision. I don't know why, but I just am. Alex Perez is really washed. I don't think there's going to be a finish in this fight. I think Charles Johnson's going to get a decision by just being the longer, rangier guy and outstriking him at range. But Perez's leg kicks and his scrappiness could cause a problem in this fight. I don't know. But I'm still picking Charles Johnson. I'm sticking with my gut. I'm taking Charles Johnson to win this fight by decision. Next up, we got Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas. And this is another pretty close fight, but I think Bukauskas is going to take it probably by first-round knockout. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good fighter. He's on a pretty decent win streak. A lot of his wins are by knockout. Recently, he's been doing good on the feet. And Nikita Krylov has been getting chinned a lot lately. His last two fights, he got knocked out in the very first round by Guskov, and before that, he got knocked out by Dominic Reyes. And both of those knockouts were pretty bad. His chin seems to be deteriorating, and fighting a guy like Modestas is not good when your chin is that bad. I think Modestas is going to go out there, chin him in the first round pretty easily, become ranked, and we'll see a ranked Modestas Bukauskas in 2026, which is pretty interesting. There's a lot of good matchups for him in the ranked area of light heavyweight. I don't think he'll go too far. I don't think he'll be in the top 5 or anything, but I do think we will see him ranked next Tuesday. Next up, we got probably the easiest peasiest prediction on the card. Ateba Gautier is going to slime this dude out in round 1. Very fast. It's not going to be a fight at all. Pulyaev's pretty good. He did just fraud check my boy Klein. I was upset about that. But he's just he stands no chance against Gautier. I don't think anyone does, at this level. They need to give him a big step up in competition. I want to see him fight, what's his name? I want to see him fight Kelvin Gastelum because he hasn't been knocked out. That would be a funny fight. And then if Gautier could beat him, then you give him Marvin Vettori because that's another guy that hasn't been chinned. And then if he gets past those two guys, he'd be in the rankings already. And those aren't like insane matchups. I don't think anyway. I don't think those are crazy matchups to be giving him, especially now. If he wins this, I think that'll be his 4th straight fight in the UFC that he wins, all by first-round knockout. I think it's time to give him a step up in competition, and I don't think Kelvin Gastelum is that crazy of a step up. I just think it'd be a funny fight. But yeah, I'll be taking Ateba Gautier by first-round KO easily on that one. Moving on to the next fight, and I think the final prelim, this should be on the main card. I don't know how it's not on the main card. But we got Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Deiveson Figueiredo. Yeah, I think Umar's taking this one by decision pretty easily. Well, not easily, actually. No, that's a lie. Figueiredo's pretty good on the feet. He's also got really good grappling. So maybe not easily. He could catch him. I think if there's going to be a finish in this fight, it actually would come from Figueiredo by knockout or submission. But I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I mean, when he fought Corey Sandhagen, he was just going for heel hooks over and over and over again, and it was just a terrible game plan. I don't know what his game plan was going into the Corey Sandhagen fight. But yeah, his decision against Jackson wasn't that impressive, and I don't think he's going to do enough against Umar. I think Umar's going to out-wrestle him. Same thing he did to Bautista probably. He's just going to out-grapple him, keep taking him down, holding him there. I don't think it's going to be an entertaining fight. It could be, but I think Umar's going to easily win this one by decision, probably 30-27. Kicking off the main card, we got Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva, which is another fight that I've been really 50-50 about since they announced this one. I think Arnold Allen's really, really good, but I also think it comes down to just their last performance. He hasn't fought in a year and a half, and it was a very close fight against Giga Chikadze. If Gene Silva fought Giga Chikadze, I don't even know what would happen, but it would not be good. And it would not be a decision, that's for sure. It would be over pretty quick. And Gene Silva looked really good in that fight against Lopez. You know, he got dominated in the first round with grappling. I don't think that's going to matter in this fight. I doubt Arnold Allen's going to grapple with Gene Silva. And then the second round, Gene Silva was piecing up Diego Lopez. He was doing really good until he got caught with that elbow. So I think if he stays calm, if he doesn't overpressure Allen like he was overpressuring Diego, I think he could just outstrike him and win. I don't know if he's going to finish him. He could. It's Gene Silva. You know, he definitely could finish him, but I think I'm going to take Gene Silva by decision here. I think Arnold Allen's really, really good. I think he's taken too much time off. And yeah, if Gene Silva fought Chikadze, he would have had him out of there in less than 3 rounds. So I'm going to take Gene Silva by decision, but I do think the odds are very disrespectful towards Arnold Allen. I think he should be an underdog, but not that big of an underdog. All right, next up we got Natalia Silva taking on Thug Rose. Not trying to hate, but this should be in the prelims, and Umar versus Figueiredo should be on the main card. I know that's not like a crazy hot take or anything, but it's just crazy to me that this is on the main card above them. You know, they're both coming off pretty boring decisions. Not much happened in any of those fights. I think Natalia Silva is the better fighter, though. I think she's a better striker, and I think Rose is probably the better grappler, to be honest. So if Rose can get her down, you know, she could make it a bit of a tougher fight, but I think Silva's probably just going to keep it on the feet and probably outstrike her and win, you know, 30-27, maybe 29-28. Rose might steal a round, but I don't think it's going to be entertaining at all. It's probably going to be a pretty boring fight, but I do think Natalia Silva is really good, and I think she deserves a title shot. But the fact that she's not getting one makes me think they might do a Manon-Fiorot rematch, which I don't like. Or maybe Shevchenko's going to move up to fight Kayla, which would be crazy. But I don't know. I don't know why Natalia Silva's taking another fight. I guess she just wants to stay active, but she's been confirmed the number one contender for like the last 3 fights, I feel like. And she just keeps taking more fights. And Rose does not deserve a shot up the rankings this high. But here we are. So yeah, I got Natalia Silva probably easily winning 30-27, 29-28, something like that. Definitely a decision. Next up, we got the featured fight of the night, which is Waldo Cortes Acosta versus Derrick Lewis. This is going to be a sick fight. It's probably going to end in the first round. First, exchange. I got Waldo Cortes Acosta winning, but it's so hard to bet against Derrick Lewis. I feel like he could just knock him out with any punch. But I do think Cortes could also knock out Derrick Lewis with any punch. And I think if it goes late, Waldo's the better fighter. I think if it goes to the ground, Waldo's the better fighter. I think just on the feet in general, Waldo's the better fighter. But Derrick Lewis just has crazy power, and he could knock Waldo out at any time, which is worrying, but I'm going to stick with Waldo Cortes Acosta. I think he's a better fighter. I think he will win this fight by knockout. I don't know what round, but I could see him getting an early knockout. I could see him taking it later on and getting a later knockout. But this fight, there's no way this fight goes to a decision. I got Waldo Cortes Acosta by knockout. I would like to mention, though, that I want Derrick Lewis to win this fight. Even though I'm picking Waldo, I want Derrick Lewis to win that. But we move on to the co-main, which is Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. This was supposed to be the featured fight, but Kayla Harrison fucked up her neck. I don't know what she did. And now she pulled out. This is the new fight. And I got O'Malley. By decision, I think. I don't know if he's going to knock out Song Yadong, but I think he's the better striker for sure. I think if Song Yadong tries to wrestle, which he probably will, I think O'Malley will be able to defend it and keep it on the feet and beat him. I don't think he's going to knock him out. He could. I'm hoping to see, a Sugar Show KO. That would be really nice, but I don't think we're going to see one. I think he's going to get the decision, get himself back in the win column, and get a big fight. Now that Petr Yan's champ, they're probably going to try and rush him towards the belt. I still want to see a Corey Sandhagen fight. But if him and Umar both win, I wouldn't mind seeing O'Malley versus Umar as a number one contender fight. But I will be picking Sean O'Malley by decision. By decision. No knockout. Next up, we got the main event. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett fighting for the interim lightweight championship. This is going to be a sick fight. Gaethje is known for making fights scrappy and tough. Paddy is undefeated in the UFC, I believe. He's really good, but he hasn't really gotten to prove it against good fighters. But his Michael Chandler performance was insane. He looked fantastic on the feet and on the ground. He just looked so good in that fight. And Gaethje, he's good. A lot of people are saying he's going to defend the takedowns and stuff. I don't know if he will. He got taken down twice by Fiziev in their last fight in the first minute. But again, that was against a striker. Fiziev hadn't taken anyone down before that since 2020. So, he wasn't expecting a takedown. He will be expecting takedowns with Paddy, so that could change things. But still, even if Gaethje defends every takedown for all 25 minutes, I think it'll be a close fight. Even if he manages to do that, I think it'll be a close fight on the feet. Paddy is good at using his range. Gaethje's really good in the clinch. If he gets close, he can get him in the clinch, get some nasty uppercuts in there. He could knock out Paddy. I'm not saying he can't, but I think Paddy is good enough on the feet to do pretty decent. He whooped Chandler on the feet in their last fight. And then I don't think Gaethje's going to be able to defend the takedowns that much. I think Paddy's going to get him down eventually, even if it's later in the fight, but I think he'll get him down in round 2 or 3. And if he does, once he does get him to the ground, I think it's going to be a very easy submission for Paddy Pimblett. Gaethje's grappling is not that good. But his striking's great. He could knock out Paddy, but I just think Paddy's good enough to get to Gaethje, get him down, and submit him. Gaethje's got good takedown defense, yeah, but Paddy he'll be jumping triangles, he'll be jumping on Gaethje's back, pulling guard. He'll be doing non-regular takedowns, and I think eventually, at one point for sure, he's going to get him to the ground and probably submit him. So I got Paddy by submission in the first 3 rounds, and he'll be the interim champion, and I guess he'll be fighting Ilya, which is crazy. But yeah, that's the prediction. Here is a list of, I guess, my confidence from top to bottom. You could flip a few fights around, but that's the confidence list. And my last year's record since 319. We're going to try and do better than 61% this year, but we did pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed this first video. Please subscribe, and hopefully the quality gets better in my future videos. Have a good one.